Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another full edition of the Narrator podcast. I'm your host, Hallzie, your brother from another mother like no other. Welcome all my narrators. Welcome everybody tuning in to the podcast today. Welcome. I pray that you had an eventful week. And if you didn't, well, hey, it's always next week. But the last time I tapped in with you was Wednesday, hump day, or Tuesday, excuse me. Yeah, it was the day before Wednesday. I done got into a loop where I was, uploading every Wednesday for a little bit for my live editions. But nevertheless, welcome to the Narrator podcast. The Narrator podcast is the home of original people peace, reciprocity, and positivity. So, before I dive into my content, I'm going to, of course, give you a brief overview for all the people unfamiliar with my podcasting platform, an overview and a synopsis of, what they'll be listening to today. But before that, just, greeting the people, talking to you, and just appealing to you on the human side. So we got a lot of stuff going on in our community. First and foremost, want to give our brother Jamie Foxx a congratulatory round of applause, making full recovery, doing what he do now, fully recovered and stabilized, and talking about his ordeal. But here on the Narrator podcast, we already knew, he was going to pull through because we sent, positive vibes his way. Everybody that was tuning in that day here on the Narrator podcast. And if you didn't, you can go through my episode log and see where I addressed that. And, if you were listening, we sent that brother love, light, and healing energy his way. And I know he appreciates all the prayers and, well wishes for a speedy recovery. But we're family on here. And so we look out for family. Speaking of family, we have to address one more thing before, I give you a brief overview and then dive into the content. We want to give a moment of silence to rapper Gilly the Kid and, co-host of, $1 Million Worth of Game. He just had an untimely passing. His oldest seed got taken from him due to, a shooting. It's not a whole lot of details surrounding it. And one thing I don't do on my platform is I don't speculate if there's no facts. So, no speculation on my end, but definitely some deep, heartfelt condolences. Like that's one of the worst things in the world for a parent to lose their child, or you know. So join me in a moment of silence for that brother. All right. So now diving into it, what is the Narrator podcast about? What is this? What type of content can you expect on this platform? Well, let's start off at the very top, the tippy, the name, the narrative. I named my podcast the Narrator Podcast because I don't like the false narrative that the mainstream media weaves about original people and original culture. Um, they focus the lens on our people and our culture in the most negative way possible. You know, they push propaganda and promote stigmas and stereotypes about our people and within our culture, while overlooking all the positive things that goes on and all the positive things that we bring to the table. So what I want to do is I want to design a platform where I'm highlighting and showcasing us at our best instead of at our worst, as the media portrays us as. They always show us down bad, destitute, living in depravity, committing violence or being victims of violence. You know, so we don't really have too many positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. So that's what this podcast platform is dedicated, providing positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. I don't engage in gossip. I don't do rumors. I do speak about current events. I deliver my commentary on current events, and when I deliver my commentary on current events, I'm delivering it, as far as like our people is concerned. I'm delivering my commentary, through our eyes, the way we see it and how it pertains to us. Because the media have us looking and sounding crazy, but other than that, as far as like breaking news and stuff, I don't dig deep into gossip and mudslinging and the degradation of a brother or a sister. But I will call a brother or sister out if they're using their platform in or their likeness in a negative way that has paints us all in a negative image, because people are looking at us by looking at them, and they're doing or saying something that got us all looking crazy. So I say something, deliver honest commentary from that perspective, but never like just full on dragging a brother or sister through the mud and name calling and all that. And I don't promote all, name calling and, mudslinging and all that. Now, what else? Some other things you need to know about my podcast. I think, I just like kind of missed the opportunity, but my tagline is the Narrator Podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about original people and original culture. How do I destroy the negative stereotypes? I destroy them by providing positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. And so later on, you will see how the type of content that I'll be delivering to you and the way I'm delivering it to you, you'll see just what I mean. So I call my listening audience my narrators. And the reason why I do that is because we're living in the digital age. And we are in the unique position to tell or narrate our own stories. Because as stated previously, the media portrays us in a negative light. They intentionally do it. They mostly do it to sell news for profit, but then they also want to manipulate the minds of the masses, including our own minds. People outside of our culture, they want to, market us and sell us off as, how they're doing it, the negative image. They want to, portray us like make generalizations that we're all violent, that we're all involved in gang activity and, you know, morally destitute, violent, poor. So, definitely what we don't want to do is play into the negative stereotypes, that they create and generate and propagate about our people and our culture. But like I was saying, we're living in the digital age. People basically, businesses especially, they gather information based on, what you're posting online. People judge you about the content that you're posting online. They make a presumption about, the type of content that you're posting online. They associate, your posts with your political views, your religious beliefs, your value systems, your faith, whatever, all the identifying characteristics about an individual is based on, what they're posting online, what they're clicking on online. This is how these Fortune 500 companies gather their data. And, the media is no different. It is a monster. It is a beast. It is evil and wicked, but it's also a business. And the first rule of business is supply and demand. So if we're always posting negativity, we're always posting negative content, the media and all these other Fortune 500 companies, they're going to do this statistical research and create product based on their statistical findings about, whatever. So they're going to produce content based around, what you're clicking on and what you're posting online. This is why we have all these television shows depicting us in a negative light. This is why we have all these movies depicting us in a negative light, literature, and so on and so forth. And then also what they do is like psychological programming. They desensitize us with all these things that they're, these images that they're circulating about us. We want to be desensitized and accept it as normal. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I call my target audience my narrators. We should be, we got a chance to tell or narrate our own stories. And the lens we should be telling our story is, through the same lens that I focus on and tell on the Narrator podcast, which is stories about leadership, entrepreneurship, family structure, unity, standing for something, a sense of community, self-awareness, pride, values, esteem. This is like stories that we should be, posting online, whatever preferred platform that we occupy online. That's what we should be, responsibly using our online platforms for. We should be, posting the image, our true image, instead of, feeding into the tarnished image of our people and our culture. If that makes sense. Another thing about the Narrator podcast, it's time sensitive, meaning I try not to exceed 1 hour per broadcast. The reason why is I want to engage all your senses, engage your intellect, keep you captivated, and then as a host, keep myself hyper focused and keep the cohesion of my content, going in one direction, having a clear beginning, middle, and end, and I'm not like going down rabbit holes, and I'm just not talking in circles. I want all my dots to connect, hit all my points, and do it in a timely manner. I want to engage, everybody within my community at all levels of knowledge and understanding. Many of us are affluent readers and, have and utilize vocabulary, and some of us are not. So I want to engage, everybody. Some people are just practical. It doesn't mean you're not intelligent because you don't read a lot or use vocabulary, but I don't want anybody feeling left out. I don't want to shoot over nobody's heads, but then also I don't want to dumb myself down. So I want to stay like right in that middle pocket and cater to everybody basically. I want to unify us on this platform because we're all kind of spread out. Everybody has different ideals, values, objectives, and so on and so forth. But one thing we all got in common is that we are all original people, and that's the perfect segue to my next point before diving into the content. On my platform, I refer to our people as original people as opposed to black. I feel original is a better descriptive term to describe our people and our culture as opposed to black. For starters, we were originally on this planet before every other race, culture, creed, ethnicity, religion, whatever you want to call it. Before anything was, we were the original beings on this planet. And no, we didn't descend from, monkeys and apes and chimpanzees and baboons and orangutans and none of that. Now we are a natural people, so we was in tune with nature. We have the unique ability, when we're connected to our higher selves, to communicate with all nature, animals, and plants, and, anything alive. But, we're not, we wasn't that. We didn't evolve from a chimpanzee like monkeys and stuff. We also didn't dwell in caves. We wasn't cave dwellers. There's some other people who were standing upright, building things, inventing things, and changing, mothering and fathering civilization, basically. So, with the word black, a group of people, that like changing the landscape, like changing the narrative, they came along and they colonized the word black as when, we was using it. It meant power, esteem, opulence, wealth, prestige, all good positive things was associated with the word black when we created it, and they came along and flipped the narrative and made everything mean, something negative. They associated all things negative with the color black. And in that, they associated our people with the color black as well as all these other negative things with the color black. So, I feel original, better describes us as a people because, like I said, we were and are the original man and the original woman of this planet. And we originally inhabited all corners of the planet. And contrary to all unpopular belief, we didn't get to all corners of the globe on slave boats. While slavery did happen, while it was barbaric, horrendous, horrific, and all that, and some of it did take place from a certain time period to a certain time period, not all of us came, ended up wherever we're located on a slave boat, especially here in the Americas. It just didn't go on for all the hundreds of years that they try to tell us, they just kept on going to Africa. All them hundreds of years just kept getting slaves, kept getting slaves, kept getting slaves, kept getting slaves, kept getting slaves. No. So some of them did come. So I'm not going to say it didn't happen at all, but it's inaccurate for all these hundreds of years that they say that was going on boats for just kept going back and kept going back and kept going back and kept going back. That don't even make sense. But anyway, like I said, I refer to our people as original people as opposed to black. When you look in the dictionary, the word original doesn't have any negative connotation surrounding it. As a matter of fact, it signifies and symbolizes the beginning, and in many cases the best. And I think we can all, as a people, collectively and uniformly say, that's pretty darn close to us as a people. Not that we're superior to anybody, but scientifically, we most definitely was here before everybody. We scientifically originally did invent pretty much everything. Everything originally came from us. Damn near every modern day invention came from us. No secret. People came from all over the world to study in our library. So yeah, that's why I think referring to our people as original as opposed to black is more historically accurate. It also unifies us as a people because there's many different types of us, many different shades of us, descending and originating from many different places and points all over the world. Speaking many different languages, speaking different dialects of the same language in some cases. But one thing we all have in common, we can all trace our lineage back to Africa, and we can all look down at our flesh and know we possess high amounts of carbon, aka melanin. And for that, we will forever be linked to one another originally. So, yeah, we are original men and an original woman. So, I feel, original describes us better, and on my platform, I refer to our people as original as often as possible. Now, one last thing before diving into the content. I have it divided up into sections, and each section has a speaking point. I describe each section as I come to them, And like I said, the ultimate takeaway. Oh, I didn't say the ultimate takeaway. So the ultimate takeaway I want all listeners to get from my content, if nothing else, is how important it is to share positive content online about our people and our culture. Because as stated previously, all people outside of our culture, the only thing they know of us is the frames of reference that they're given about us, and all the frames of reference they're given about us is negative frames of reference. So it's up to us to level the playing field by sharing positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. That's why I refer to my, listening audience as my narrators. So now you got a basic gist of the Narrator podcast. Um, I would say it's a perfect time to dive on in. So rounding things off, my very first section here on the Narrator podcast is the promo section. In this section, what I'm doing is I'm promoting or giving people the opportunity, original men and original women that own and operate their own business, have their own product or service that needs promoting on my platform. I'm giving them the opportunity to reach out to me and get their project, business, products, or anything they need or would like promoted right here on my platform. And I'm doing it 110% for free. The reason why I'm doing it is to help do my part, to help circulate the original people dollar within the original people community. Because while we are due reparations, it's up to all of us to support one another and patronize one another and promote one another. Like if you know somebody that got their own business, if you feel you don't have enough money to go out and purchase their product, the least you can do is use your platform to promote their business, to make people aware that their business exists, so they can go out and then they can patronize. And we can just, now you don't got to keep on going back to, somebody did you wrong, but we do need to support each other. Like you don't have to support products and services that you just don't believe in. Like, and supporting one another, don't be disingenuous, but at the same time, don't use that as an excuse not to, because you support people, the ops that don't want you in their stores, that don't want you in their restaurants, that don't want you in their wearing their apparel, but you do it anyway. Because it's your money, how you justify it, it's my money, I made it, I can do whatever I want to with it. Okay, cool. But in that same breath, don't not support your brother and your sister because you feel, some type of way about their customer service. But anyway, I digress about that. If you need or like some free promotion, hit me up, Hallzie Allen at passionwebmail at poeticpassion.host. And in the subject bar, type promo. In the body of the email, type, tell me a little bit about yourself, business, product, or service that you want promoted. Be specific as possible. The more specific you are about whatever it is that you're trying to get promoted, the better, my commercial will be about it. So give me all the specifics you want me to know about it, and, I'll let the rest of the world know about it. I do have a following. I'm getting better all the time, so every broadcast my numbers go up. More people know about me. I'm more like every broadcast. I'm like more referenced on different, mediums. So you don't have nothing to lose, only something to gain. I'm not charging no money, so all publicity is good publicity. Utilize me. Hit me up, Passion Webmail, that poetic passion dot host, subject dot bar type promo. All right, next section of the Narrator podcast. My contest section. My contest section is basically like incentive to keep on listening and participating with the content. I'm giving listeners the opportunity to earn a prize, and the prize that you have the opportunity to earn is a bulk supply of your favorite snack food item. So whatever you like to snack on, I'm gonna give you a bulk supply of it simply by participating in the contest topic. And the contest topic is share your most recent shopping while black experience. And it's a contest, so the name of the contest is called Did You Want This Contest? And to enter, you hit me up here on the Narrative Podcast at the exact same email address that I just gave for the promo, for the free promotion. The only difference between the two is I'm separating them through the subject bar. So to enter that you want this contest, hit me up at Passion Webmail, Poetic Passion host. Pay very close attention. Here's where it's different. In the subject bar for the You Want This contest, you will type You Want This / or dash shopping while black. If you don't want to type the entire word shopping while black, you can type SWB in all caps. In the body of the email, what you want to do is you want to include your mailing address so I know where to send your snack. And then tell me what type of snack you want, of course, so I know what type of snack to get you. And then the most important thing, include your shopping while black experience, of course. That's the contest. Your shopping while black experience, your most recent shopping while black experience. And you will get a bulk supply of your favorite snack food item. 110% free. You don't have to pay any money. The only reason why I want your mailing address is so I know where to send your prize. So I'm gonna run it back one more time before diving into the next section on the Narrative Podcast. To enter the You Want This contest, hit me up at Passion Webmail, poeticpassion.host, subject bar, type shopping or You Want This / or dash shopping while black. And if you don't want to type the entire word shopping while black, you can type SWB in all caps. Body of the email, make sure to include your mailing address, what type of snack you would like, what type of snack food item that you would like as your prize, and then, of course, your most recent shopping while black experience. Try not to exceed more than 6 paragraphs. Just want to know, what happened in your experience. Like, what happened to you? What type, give me the play-by-play, but don't give me a whole darn novel, because I'm not going to read all of it. Just give me the highlights. Give me matter of fact, try to give me bulleted points if you can. What happened, chronological order. All right. So now on to the next section, which is actually the first section of the Narrator podcast, the highlight section. In the highlight section, what I'm doing is I'm highlighting businesses owned and operated by original people. And the purpose of me highlighting these businesses is to showcase entrepreneurialism within our community. And the reason I feel I need to do that is because there isn't, we're in lack of that as far as receiving frames of references for that, for entrepreneurialism. We don't have a lot of television shows that reflect entrepreneurialism within our community. The very few shows that we have are tainted with dysfunction and toxicity, and the network executives mix in the dysfunction and toxicity to appeal to a large demographic. They do that they intentionally add drama to, increase the ratings. So people tune in. So it's like, the entrepreneurialism part gets drowned out and the toxicity and the dysfunction gets pushed towards the forefront for the ratings. So what I want to do is design a platform or talk about entrepreneurialism in the scope of just all positivity. So, we're not looking at, people or listening to people fight each other and call each other names and throw each other under the bus and all that. We're just looking at specific, journeys. That's what I try to, play up in the highlight section on Narrative Podcast and Entrepreneur's Journey. How they came up with the idea, when it was fresh in their mind, and walk you through their entire journey as an entrepreneur. Most of the entrepreneurs that I highlight in the highlight section that were initially 9-to-5ers, they had regular 9-to-5 jobs. They said, I want to do something different. At some point, they said, I want to do something different with my life. And then decided to believe in themselves and believe in their dream and just go through the motions and become a business owner. And thus doing so, they did for themselves, they did for their community, they did for their family. Another factor of the entrepreneurs that I feature in the highlight section, they do the community outreach. They either pay into a nonprofit organization or they have their very own nonprofit organization. They do for the community. They do like Kickstarters, community, like give away things to the community, whatever the community needs, such as like they might donate stuff for back to school. Like back to school is just like right around the corner, like straight up. But they might donate to back to school. They might donate to the elderly. They might, do something charitable is what I'm saying with their business, not just line their pockets with profit. And then also, a whole lot of them are family owned and operated businesses. So with the goal of, after I leave this physical plane, my people will still have somewhere to shop to get their, whatever they need. And then, something left behind, a legacy left from my family. Somebody in my family can take over this business after I done went as far as I can go with it. So that's what I want to showcase and highlight on the highlight section. And then my last qualifying factor I have is it has to line up with my current theme. And my current theme on the highlight section of the Narrator podcast is, businesses that have to do with the season of summer. All right, so now that you got a gist about what the highlight section is about on the Narrator podcast, we're going to dive right into it today. And just spoiler alert, this highlight section, I usually have 3 to 4 businesses to highlight, but because of my theme, I really only found a couple, not even gonna lie. But so my theme is the theme of summer. And when I think of summer, I think of outdoor activity, or, I think about sports. And so what I attempted to do on the highlight section was to highlight sports center facilities owned and operated by original men and original women. But I kind of only came across 2 that check all the boxes that I just read off to you. And one of them is still kind of in the works. It kind of really don't exist yet, but it's on its way. It's being constructed. So, with no further ado, we're going to dive into the highlight section on the Narrator podcast. Oh, I think I glazed over one last thing before that. So the whole purpose of the highlight section of the Narrator podcast is to, highlight entrepreneurialism, but then also to encourage you to patronize businesses. Original people owned and operated businesses, to create the healthy habit of promoting and patronizing businesses owned and operated by us, for us, so we can keep the, dollar circulating within our own community, because our U.S. government is definitely not going to help us bridge that wealth gap. It's up to us to bridge the wealth gap. So like when we start our own businesses, we have to support. It is critical to our survival. We not only have to buy the product, we have to promote. Because, when starting out, most of them don't have money for advertisements. And the best way you can advertise is use your social media platform. You don't have to be a celebrity. It helps if you are, but you don't have to be. If you, buy some good product from your brother, your sister, put that online. But anyway, diving into the highlight section of the Narrator podcast. First business, first sports facility complex that I'll be promoting, or highlighting, on the highlight section is the AASE, or the African Sports and Entertainment Group, established in 2015, founded in Oakland, California by Ray Bobbitt. So we already know Oakland, California is kind of like the birthplace of the Black Panther Party, and pretty much all other, revolutionary type organizations for our people. So a sense of community, and that is essentially why this sports complex has come into fruition. Is, with the initiative and the incentive to do for the community, have somewhere for our children to play, have some recreational play for them, as well as other people, all age groups of the all age groups. So like to get up with the initiative to get up and get active, be healthy and fit, get exercise. They're going to have like pool. They're going to have like basketball. They're going to have like tennis, pickleball. You name a sport, they're probably going to be able to facilitate it in this new sports arena that they're building. They're going to have like, children's leagues. There's all kinds of information on it. It's nearly in the finishing stages. So they're looking to unveil it within by the end of 24. So for updates, you can go to www.aaseoakland.com. You can also follow them on Instagram to see their Instagram story on how that's coming along. They're doing, all kinds of drives and things, booster clubs and whatnot surrounding the construction of this new facility about to come. It's going to be great. So join me in a warm narrative round of applause for the AASECG. Okay. Because it's an acronym, but anyway, yeah, you get it. All right, moving right along. Next section of the narrative I almost jumped ahead of myself. The next business in the highlight section on the narrative podcast is the Boo Williams Sportplex. And it's named after, Olympic football player Marcellus Boo Williams. And you can hit his bio up when you go to the site. But this is the initiative for exclusively our children. So all kind of sporting leagues is under one roof. It's also open to the public. If you want to, do something like shoot some hoops or whatever, any type of physical activity, that is open to the public as well, but it's primarily focuses on youth, youth sports. But to hit it up, you go up to the BooWilliamsSportsComplex.com, and then once there, you can see, their mission statement. The physical address is 5 Armstead Point Parkway, Virginia, 2366, and the telephone number is 757-637-7300. Support our brother Boo Williams and our youth as well. So join me in giving the Warm Narrative Podcast round of applause for the Boo Williams Sports Complex. All right, cruising right along on the Narrative Podcast is the Spotlight section. And today's spotlight section, or wait, can I tell you what the spotlight section is about, don't I? I'm just kind of super jumpy today. But anyway, the spotlight section is a section where I'm giving a prominent figure within our community their roses while they're here for all the accomplishments that they do. It's usually in the area of entertainment. So the types of people I will be talking about is like sports figures, um, actors, actresses, recording artists, religious figures, uh, public figures, pretty much anybody that has a public platform, has a public polarizing effect on our people. They're always in the eye of the media, or they're, always going viral if they're online, or, just something representing us per se. In addition to that, I think my intention behind it is create the healthy habit of saying something nice to your brother or sister online instead of utilizing your platforms, your online platforms, to bash or denigrate your brother and sister, because we get enough of that from outside influences. Um, people go out of their way to play us against each other online. There's all kinds of incentive being thrown our way to say something negative about your brother or sister. Um, and then also, we're the only group of people that do that, to get online and say something negative about your brother or sister instead of going to them, or right directly to them if you have a disagreement. Like, we're the only ones that openly airs our grievances online instead of just going right to them, speaking our minds. Um, so that's a bad look. So yeah, that's a bad look. So what I want to do is create the healthy habit of saying something nice about your brother or sister, and I would say that worked extremely well because before I added a spotlight section to my podcast, the Narrator podcast, nobody was spotlighting anybody. Now all of a sudden, every YouTube channel, every TV show, or whatever media outlet that has a guest go on there, they'll say, today we will be spotlighting this person, that person, and nobody was spotlighting anybody until I added a spotlight section to my podcast, the Narrative Podcast. So, I gotta talk my ish.
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Hallzie Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
In the real way. Yes. So it's not even an exaggeration. Like, you can fact check and go through my episode log and do your own research. But anyway, today's spotlight on the Narrative Podcast goes to the brother Ibrahim X. You might know him from the #1 selling book from the New York Times, How to be a non-racist. The brother was born from Jamaica, or was from Jamaica, raised in New York City, went to a private school. So he got a real, super convoluted background, but he's an activist. He writes tons of books. He's an educator. He's active in the soil, always speaking on our causes, being that intellectual image that we need as a people, that ignorant look, speaking with diction, speaking with poise, articulating his points very well. We need that visual symbol of intellect, because the media drowns and bombards us. They push the ignorance. They push, the low class stereotype about us as a people being non-intelligent and not knowing how to convey our thoughts intellectually. And this brother is, an educator and a public speaker and so many more things. So yeah, the brother definitely is, calling him a social activist would be an understatement. He is, a very highly informed intellectual teacher. He's done the work, and is continuing to do the work, and inspiring and motivating future generations, and giving us something to, look up to as a blueprint of what, a well-to-do for original man is supposed to be. So join me in giving a warm narrative podcast round of applause for the brother Ibram X. All right, here we go. Next section of the Narrator podcast is the health and wellness section. And the health and wellness section is self-explanatory. I am discussing matters of health and wellness. I'm basically giving health and wellness tips in this section. And the reason why I'm giving health and wellness is because our people are suffering mentally, physically, and spiritually. Physically, they're putting stuff in our air, in our water, in our food, in items we use every day around the house that, genetically alter or eradicate our cells. Mentally, they're destroying us mentally, feeding us all this garbage on the internet, on television, in the news, in the media, that destroys our self-image. It implants and suggests certain mental things and trigger us mentally. Spiritually, they're destroying our very essence spiritually. So, the health and wellness section of the Narrator podcast is just me giving tips on how to armor up and protect ourselves from all the areas that we're being attacked in. So, like for example, on the physical side, things you might hear from me in the health and wellness section on the Narrative podcast. On the physical side, you might hear, the health benefits of a fruit, a vegetable, a plant, an extract, or an herb that will increase or enhance your overall physical health, or some type of physical exercise you can do to increase your physical health. Mental things you can do to keep your mind sharp, to stay in good mental health. I give you tips about that, such as like mindful breathing, emotional intelligence, meditation, spiritual, praying, meditating, practicing spiritual techniques. So mental, spiritual. And then every once in a blue moon, I might throw in something like quantum law, divine law, something esoteric, but basically designed to promote total body wellness. This is what this section is designed for on the Narrative podcast. And a quick disclaimer. So yeah, in this section, the section is basically designed to promote total body wellness for my people. So the disclaimer is like my content is for anybody to listen to and get enlightened about, original people and original people culture. But, all the content is directed, the demographic is my people. So, these health and wellness tips are for my people, like, because we all have different, dietetic needs. We all thrive in different climates. We all process nutrients differently, culturally differently. So yeah, just be mindful of that. But anybody can use the knowledge, but just all the knowledge, especially in this section, is geared towards, improving my people's health. But anyways, for today's health and wellness tip on the Narrative podcast, we're going to talk about the health benefits of the lychee nuts. Lychee or leche, tomato. So it is a berry in the soapberry family. It's primarily located in South China, Africa, Australia, and South America. So it's very closely also related to the rambutan. And let me see, I forgot where that comes from, rambutan. The rambutan, which is also located in Southeast Asia. The fruit is very similar in taste. Now the rambutan, they have like spiky kind of, spiky kind of exterior. A rambutan looks kind of like that children's toy back in the day. What was it called? It was super big in the early 90s. Koosh balls. Like that's what a rambutan kind of is reminiscent of. It's reminiscent of a koosh ball, but a lychee nut is more reminiscent of an acorn. They got kind of like they resemble a acorn on the exterior, but on the inside is the white fruit, and it's sweet. It's very delicious, and it has like a big giant seed. So yeah, I think probably the only place you can probably like plant a leche nut and actually grow it in its correct climate would probably be Florida here in the States, or maybe Texas, quite possibly. I would say the northern part of California maybe could be a breeding ground for lychee nuts, but you know, I don't think there's too many places in the state that would have the climate necessary to properly grow a lychee nut. So they are highly water soluble. They keep you hydrated. They have good carbs. There's good carbs and bad carbs. So lychee nut has good carbs. Rich in fiber. So if you're trying to diet, you can eat a few of those and feel full. And you better, because like for one of them is like $2, like $1.50 just for one. Rich in fiber, rich in vitamin C. Has antioxidant properties. So if you know anything about antioxidants are basically fat burners. They burn fat. They boost the immune system. Rich in iron, rich in copper, which promotes hair growth. So like you can eat some lychee nuts if you're thinning or losing your hair. Incorporate that in your diet. And they're low glycemic, so people suffering from type 1 or type 2 diabetes can consume lychee to help them keep their glycemic levels regulated. So that'll do it for the health and wellness section of the Narrator podcast. And on to the next section of the Narrator podcast, which is the speaking points. And my speaking point of the day is basically like I'm delivering commentary on current events globally, around the world, or things specifically in our community. But whatever topic I cover, just know I'm covering it from our perspective, through our lens, telling our stories, from our perspective. Because if history hasn't taught us anything, it's taught us this: if you don't tell your stories will be told for you. And that's all they've been doing throughout history, is telling our stories. So here on the Narrative Podcast, in the speaking point section, I'm telling our story. I'm delivering commentary, unpacking current events from our perspective. All right. So my first speaking point, unless you've been living under a rock, it's been going viral lately. The Florida school district. So they kicked critical race theory out of schools, but they decided, they're going to add slavery in their curriculum, and they're going to teach it back to our children that we benefited from slavery. Yeah, that's waking up and going to sleep getting beat for making eye contact, getting beat for sneezing, getting beat for not saying yes sir, no sir. Yeah, that was really beneficial to us. Getting separated from wealth, yeah, that was really beneficial for us. Getting denied human rights, like in slavery, was regarded as livestock. But that was really beneficial. We really got over as a people with slavery. Like slavery really helped us out, man. It's laughable. These folks are something else. Them damn folks are something else. But is it surprising that this lunacy, this madness, this like flawed logic comes out of Florida? Florida, where in slave times they used to take infant slave children and use them as alligator bait. Is that surprising? Is that shocking coming from the Florida school districts that they would teach slavery in that manner? This is quite possibly one of the first southern states. If you peel back the onion layers and trace mass incarceration, the penal system, the police force, also like slavery, they used to chase runaway slaves through the bayous in Florida. So is that a big shocker to us that they would institute a curriculum like that in schools, in public schools? No. This is a eye opener, a kick in the pants for all original leaders to finally stop bickering amongst themselves and come together as a community and start our own schools. We need our own schools at every grade level. We need our own schools at every grade level. One, just all original people's school in every city and states in the United States at every grade level, because they're not going to teach our children correctly. All like, the Christian churches, like whatever denomination, Pentecostal, Baptist, whatever, Muslim, Hebrew, whatever, need to put the money in the pot, buy up plots of land, and create learning institutions for our children, because them folks ain't going to teach us right. They're going to crush their spirits, stifle their creativity, tell them they can't be nothing, and then one up it and say you better not try to be something. So this is why we need our own schools. This is why we need our own retail outlets. This is why we need our own financial institutions. From them folks spewing diseased rhetoric like that, we benefited from slavery. Okay. All right. We benefited from being disconnected with having a disconnect with our brethren. Can't speak any dialect of tribal languages. Don't know, like, we benefited from slavery. I'm sorry, I'm a little, that really just is breathtaking. It takes, like, that takes the cake. How dare you? But, yeah. So it's not a big shocker. We got to roll our sleeves up. We know the assignment. It's time to get down, get to work. All right, next topic. I didn't want to touch it, but I got to touch it. Carly Russell. So our sister has, succumbed to she's past the sunken place where you crave attention so badly, you orchestrate your own abduction. Like, you engineer and orchestrate your own abduction. They got receipts on top of receipts on top of some more receipts. Like, why did she think she was going to get away with that? Like, they got cameras and everything. Like, Big Brother is literally always watching. When it comes to original people, like, the only time they're not watching is when one of them folks really does abduct one of our sisters. Then they don't know nothing. We have no leads. 10 years, we still got a van, 2 or 3 van loads of sisters, more than 20,000 sisters that they never found. They still don't know the whereabouts of them sisters. And 20,000 sisters just went missing last year, a couple years ago. Still don't know the whereabouts. Or they know the whereabouts, they're just telling the general public they don't know. They know. But, yeah, so like I said, I don't sling mud, I don't gossip. I'm unpacking this from the perspective that, the media has incentivized, created the atmosphere for this type of foolishness to exist. Because that's what that is. It's just absolute, total, utter foolishness. They're incentivizing and rewarding behavior like that. It's not just within our community. Like, have you ever noticed untalented people in all genres of entertainment? You see them like, how did this person get their own show? How does this person have an album? How does this person, have a #1 record? They can't sing a lick. They can't rap a lick. They're nominated for awards. They can't act a lick. Why? Because they got in front of the camera and showed their entire ass. Literally and figuratively. They made a damn fool of themselves. And we reward it as a society. People are so needy and desperate for attention, they will literally do and say anything online to get it, to garner the views, to garner the likes. Like, legit, you got people online legit eating feces. They got channels like eating like crazy, bugged out, weird stuff, doing like stupid, like, have you seen, I don't know why I'm addicted to them little food channels where like the TikTok cooking, where it's like they're like doing just like and like, you know, I don't know if you seen them like the all them black comedians reacting to them like TikTok videos of people just cooking with they shouldn't be in the kitchen. Two people in particular that I really like, they're the masters at that. Like it's a brother and a sister. They are hilarious. I forgot their names. I might have to reference them in a later episode, but they are hilarious. Be reacting to them like weird TikTok recipes. I can't think of their names right now. Let me try to. Well, I got some time. I got to give them the roses because they're like hilarious like that. I don't want to veer too far off on a tangent. I want to try to stay focused, but yeah, they deserve some shine for reacting to them TikTok videos. The sister's name, let me see. Sister's name is Jay Bryan. No? What is the comedian's name? I got her. I'm punching it up. I'm gonna get to the rest of my topic for it though. I just like, yeah, because they're super hilarious. Tanera Mallory, everybody's so creative. She is hilarious. Reacting to them TikTok videos where they just like putting ingredients that don't go with anything. And in the brother's name, he does a skit where he's sitting in front of the window and his character is named Nathaniel. The comedian's name, his character's name is Nathaniel that he does. What is the comedian's name? His catchphrase is Lord have mercy. I'm trying to think of it, like, I got it on the tip of my tongue. I think his name is Philip something. Oh shoot, I had it too. I might have to go. Let me see. don't know why it's not here. Okay, brother's name is Christian Johnson. And you know who I actually thought it was when he was doing the skit? I thought it was Godfrey the comedian, because Godfrey, he be putting on outfits too. And he's like looking out the window and he's reacting to all these horrible like TikTok recipes, like people that think they can cook and they really can't. So, but anyway, my point before I got, trying not to go off on that tangent, is like people just like do and say anything for that internet fame. They do and say anything to get that camera on them. They do and say anything to get them views, to get them clicks, to get them likes. This sister fell, privy to that insatiable need to be seen, to be visible online. She went so far as to orchestrate and engineer her own abduction. When it's sisters that have gone missing and are still missing today. And it ain't nothing cute and ain't nothing funny about it. I remember, what was it, like last year? When Tisha Campbell was doing a movie, and she claimed like somebody tried to abduct her on her Instagram story, which I believe they really did. She's a good actor, but I don't believe she was paranoid about that, because her story seemed legit. But anyway, she went above and beyond trying to garner attention, just wanting attention because, she wants it for the fame. She wants it for the like. And the sick, sad part about that, she's about to get all the attention that she was looking for. Because after people get done roasting her online, if she does end up getting some jail time because of all this, after her jail time, after she serves her little bid, she's going to get her own reality television series. She's going to get a book deal. She's going to start getting bookings. She's going to get an agent. All right? She's going to get a Hollywood agent. Speaking of agent, I wonder how that writing strike's going. I haven't really been keeping up with it. But, does it really even matter for our people? Because we're so underrepresented in entertainment. Does us striking really matter? I'm just curious, because the content of the shows that they give us to watch about us is so horrible anyway. I don't know, what are we striking for? But anyway, what I was saying is she's about to get, she's gonna come up off of all this. After people get done roasting her, she's gonna get her own television show. While incarcerated, she'll probably have her own YouTube, get a burner phone and get her own TikTok, probably do YouTube and TikTok, day in the life of being locked up for lying about being abducted. Now I'm really abducted, I'm in the system. Because we're living in a society where we're celebrating and worshiping foolishness. We're giving cadence to it. We're giving it a face. You know, we love it as a people, as a society. And it's just not just only in our community. Like people do and say all kinds of stuff. Dumb stuff online, like Jake Paul when he had his run and he did his dumb ish on YouTube and had to make that apology, disrespecting like that, disrespecting the culture like that. It's like nobody is using common sense anymore. They're just getting behind a microphone or in front of a camera and just saying the first dumb thing that pops in their minds. And they're getting rewarded for it. So I don't know. That's all I really had to say on our sister Carly Russell. I pray she gets the help that she needs. I don't know what her mental mind state was when she was doing that, what she hoped to accomplish, or what she was trying to garner, what type of attention. She got it. Whatever type of attention she was looking for, she got it. She got a national spotlight. Everybody in the U.S. is talking about this foolish stunt she pulled. I ain't gonna say stupid. It was a foolish stunt. All right, next topic. I mean, he's never not going to be a topic. Our brother Ice Cube, he's still Cuban, man. He said he was going to go on a podcast tour, and he's been true to that. Every single podcast you can think of within the last week or so that he's been a guest on, the podcast itself has gone viral just for him talking the truth and not being afraid to speak about the truth, about the powers that be in the games that they play, how to manipulate the media and manipulate our people with, the media. And I guess Carly Russell was a segue to that. Because Ice Cube is just the inverse. He's never succumbed to wanting to play that game. I don't put nobody on a pedestal. I don't think nobody's infallible. Nobody's perfect. But as far as integrity, Ice Cube has never compromised his integrity as an MC, as an artist, or as an actor. He's never been in a role, took a movie role that he didn't believe in or thought that, made himself look some type of way. He's never lent his likeness for something that would hurt himself or his people. I think the only questionable thing he's done through his career is the St. Ives ads. And it's not really questionable because he enjoys malt liquor. He's from the West Coast. He drinks malt liquor. I might as well get paid for it. I indulge in malt liquor. I'm Compton, California. They drink malt liquor out there. Why not? I drink it anyway. I guess that was his mentality back then. But other than that, he's been super solid. I mean, just for a sidebar, all the rappers was doing it. Biggie, Snoop, Pac, Wu-Tang, Jay-Z. He didn't have a St. Ives one. He had a Heineken. But I'm just saying though, other than that, Ice Cube hasn't really sauntered or wavered throughout the time. He's gotten a lot of backlash, but he's really been staying 10 toes down on his morals and principles, and he's kind of like the like I said, I don't want to put him on the platform and try to hero worship him or nothing like that, but he's definitely somebody we can look up to say, no, you don't have to if you don't want to, and still earn decent living. His children, his seeds, they all went to, decent colleges. They've lived a decent life of an entertainer. They've, best restaurants, the best schools, best neighborhood that money could buy. And he's never compromised his integrity and his morals. And that's what brothers and sisters always do. When they compromise themselves, the first thing they'll say is, oh, I got kids. I got to eat. I got to do it for my kids. I ain't thinking about that black power ish. But look at Cube. He never compromised his integrity, to get the bag. But every time a brother and sister compromises their integrity for the bag, the first thing they say is, I got to feed my family. Well, damn it, that's a meal your family don't got to eat. You know what I'm saying? You grew up on ramen noodles, you turned out all right. You making six figures. Help build, your seeds some character. Let them feel like what no feels like. Before you sit up there and use your likeness to peddle a toxic image about your brothers or sisters or yourself. Something that could be weaponized against you. You don't have to go the casting couch route to garner the bag. You don't have to. If you're a man, you ain't got to sit up there and put on a dress or kiss another man in the mouth on camera if you don't want to. If you're a woman, you don't have to take a movie role where you're getting butt naked in the scene or half naked in the scene if you don't want to. Ice Cube's living proof that you don't have to if you don't want to, and still be alright financially. Also living proof that all money ain't good money. Sometimes you have to walk away from the bag because, he walked away from a $7 or a $9 million bag because he didn't want to take the jab. Some people take the jab shoot, I eat processed food. Hell, you talking about, shoot, I'm going to take that jab. And in theory, they're kind of right if you're eating McDonald's. If you eat McDonald's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what's the difference? I'll be a hypocrite. I've been educated in the public school system, so yeah. Had to take the flu vaccine and the polio and whatever else they require you to start school. Shingles and all that. But yeah, the brother is a living, you know, check one, check two. Yeah, the brother is a living example of what it means to, you know, keep your integrity and your morals intact. What else did I want to touch on before I go into the next section? What else is going on in here in these streets? Yeah, I guess I don't really know too much about the writer's strike. I did want to kind of talk about it. I guess I'm gonna have to like save that for another time. I'm about to do some more knowledge about that. I'm still not quite sure what that's about, and what role do we play in all this? Like, what's our role in the writer's strike? But real quick, also before this, kind of don't really got nothing to do with nothing, but I guess, well, I think I do got a point to make about it. Like recently, Tony Yayo did a interview on the Drink Champs, and he gave his opinion. He gave his opinion on who we got in his top five, and it sparked a heated debate with DJ FN. Yes, like you got Ice Cube over Biggie, and he's like, no. I said all that to say this for this top five conversation that we keep on having. This dividing us, like, man, opinions are subjective. People, like in hip hop, you like who you like. You like who you like for whatever reason you like. Whether you're a hip hop historian, a hip hop connoisseur, or just somebody likes a few songs. Whether you're a hip hop aficionado or just a novice, a hip hop novice. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and no opinion is better than any. Like, whatever you say is, that's how you feel. It's not nothing to be quarreling over. It's not nothing to ever catch feelings about, or tell somebody, oh, you tripping, you bugging. Like, I mean, it's fun. That's why we do it, because the culture of hip hop is fun, and it's all right. And it's fun to have like debates like that. It was kind of reminiscent of a good like stage game. Right when somebody dropped that big joke, who's in your top five? It's kind of fun, like in that respect. But also, to reiterate a point that I made about these lists, like, as a culture, we ain't never been down with lists. We don't care about stuff that's better than something else. Like, we are natural people, we original people. We care about what works. We don't care about a list. Like, that's them folks, man, to come up with the best dressed, the GQ Quarterly and Vanity Fair and all that shit. Pardon my language, I try not to curse, but that's like, we don't engage in that like foolishness. We don't got no use for lists and top five and all that. That ain't us. But speaking of lists, like, for you, like, people just invested in like Michelin star restaurants. Talking to my people now. You think you balling because you go to a Michelin starred restaurant, bruh, sis? Like the Michelin star system was a gimmick invented by the Michelin tire company. Tires, Michelin. The same people that manufacture tires came up with a gimmick to sell tires and maps, just to like stops popular. Oh, this is a 1-star, this is a 2-star eats. You know, that was a marketing gimmick. It's just a thing now. It's not the actual standard of fine dining. Michelin stars is a gimmick. Don't be thinking you balling because you eating at a 2, 3, 4-star Michelin starred restaurant. Like Michelin star is a gimmick, bruh. Sis, it's a gimmick. So you paying like exorbitant fees for a gimmick. Like you paying all that money at a Michelin starred restaurant. You could be starting your own business. You can be like opening up your own restaurant with the money you blow at a Michelin starred restaurant. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of them like live up to the star, like fancy dancy and all that. But it ain't really nothing. Well, I guess that do it for this section of the Narrator podcast. And on to my final section of the Narrator podcast, which is the final thought section. Sometimes I call it a final thought. Sometimes I call it a final word. What this section is just basically like a philosophical nugget. Something for you to ponder on, something for you to contemplate, something that will evoke and challenge critical thinking. Just, something wise, a gem, a pearl of wisdom, whatever you want to call it. Something for you to just marinate on. So today's final thought, I kind of go back between final thought and final word. Some weeks I kind of call it final thought. Some weeks I call it final word. Just depends on the mode. But I'm sliding out with final thought this week. So my final thought of the day here on the Narrator podcast is, it's really cliche, but it's essential for whatever you're trying to do in life, wherever you're trying to go in life, whatever you're trying to have or obtain in life. Never, ever, never stop believing. The instant you stop believing is the instant it will stop happening. You ever see like a homeless person or somebody that, is disenfranchised? What do you think happened? At some point of their life, they was faced with adversity, and for an instant, and that instant might have been just long enough for it to manifest into reality, they stopped believing. Because maybe they lost everything. Maybe they was an entrepreneur, and they made a wrong business choice, and they lost everything, and they ended up out in the street because they stopped believing. I equate it into like relationships. People want to have a perfect, healthy, sound relationship. Why do most people break up? Because they stop believing in the other person. Or rather, they stopped believing in themselves. They didn't believe they were supposed to have this wonderful, magnificent person. in their life. They were second guessing and doubting it. What did I do to deserve you? I'm just this. I'm not worthy of you. You can cheat yourself out of anything if you stop believing. Believing you can do it, believing it is possible. So no matter where you're going, no matter what you're doing, you have to wake up and go to sleep with the same belief, believe in the good way. Because some people just they believe bad things. They believe negative things. You got to always believe in the positive. You always got to see the positive in something. You got to see things as they are, but then you also believe for better things. Have that belief that something better is around the corner, something better is going to happen. You have to believe it's going to work out for the best. No matter what, avenue or path that you're going down, no matter how many forks in the road you come to, you have to believe you're going to select the correct choice. Because if you stop believing, then you're sowing the seeds of doubt. And then when you doubt, you actually are calling the creator a liar. Like whoever you call yourself praying to, whether it's Jesus, Allah, Buddha, or vibrational energy or source or whatever you call yourself believing in. When you put that doubt in your head, you believing it won't happen, you calling the creator, the highest power, a liar. So, it's giving it to you what you want because you didn't believe it was going to happen anyway. So it didn't happen. You didn't believe you was going to ace that interview, so you didn't get the job. You didn't believe you was going to get that good grade, so you flunked out. You didn't believe that money was yours, so you stopped grinding and got complicit. So, final thought of the day, never stop believing. Believe that. All right, so that's it and that's all. Thank you for listening and sticking and staying to the end. This has been another full episode of the Narrator Podcast. Keep in mind, family, I broadcast every single weekend. Join me next weekend for another full episode of the Narrator Podcast. And listen to me every single day, or listen to wherever you get your podcasts every single day during the week. Because I broadcast live during the weekdays. I don't never know what day that I'm going to broadcast live. So wherever you get your podcast from, just check it out. A perfect way not to miss me when I go live when I'm broadcasting is to follow my YouTube channel, Hallzie Allen, on YouTube, because the platform that I'm currently on right now broadcasts directly to my YouTube channel. So yeah, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you'll never miss me when I'm on this platform. It'll broadcast directly to YouTube. And then also follow me on Twitter. I'm Hallzie Allen on Twitter, and you will know you got my correct profile when you see my book is pinned to my profile, and it's titled The Black Card. So follow me on Twitter, and you will never miss me when I'm live. When I'm doing a live broadcast of the Narrator Podcast, you will get your alerts from Twitter or YouTube. So yeah, do that. But before you do anything, download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrator podcast to help, keep the podcast and the platform growing so I can give you a better quality show. What else? So speaking of my book is titled, my book of poetry. I wrote a book of poetry titled The Black Card, and I wrote it under my, name, Hallzie Allen. And the book is available online in the online bookstore at poetizer.com. So visit poetizer.com and go to their bookstore to purchase my book, The Black Card. And the Black Card basically is a comprehensive view of our entire culture, all the nuances, all the complexities, everything we face as a people. So it's a comprehensive guide of what it means to be black. Even though, I wrote this book before I started referring to our people as original people, but, for all intents and purposes, what it means to be an original man or original woman, is chronicled in the Black Card. So, do yourself the biggest, hugest favor. Go online to the online bookstore at poetizer.com and purchase you a copy of the Black Card, or get your Black Card revoked. Just turn it in now if you don't purchase the Black Card. No excuse. Yoink. Black Card revoked. Yeah, so go purchase the Black Card or get your Black Card revoked. Yoink. Give it up. You don't need it. You didn't purchase the Black Card. Another way to support me is I have my own personal poetry blog titled Hallzie's Poetry Corner. To support it, you simply go to Hallzie's Poetry Corner on blogger.com. The email address is www.mrhallziesblogs.com. And the way you support it is share poems from Hallzie's Poetry Corner on all platforms, on your Facebook, on your Twitter, on your whatever. Now for the visual ones like YouTube, TikTok, Flipgram, whatever, you might have to shout out a poem that you're messing with from Hallzie's Poetry Corner. Just a little quick 20-30 minutes snippet, like, hey, I messed with this poem, Hallzie's Poetry Corner. You might have to do it like that if you got a visual platform, but for like Facebook or whatever, you can just like repost the link. You can also, like, if you have a Gmail account, you can sign into your Gmail. You can leave comments. It's basically like signing my autograph book. You can leave comments on my poetry pieces. But yeah, so that's it. Hallzie's Poetry Corner on blogger.com, www.mrhallziesblogs.com. That's Hallzie's Poetry Corner. Poetry with a passion. Poetry for all occasions. Support. Thanks for listening to another full episode of the Narrative Podcast. Join me next weekend for another full edition of the Narrative Podcast. Remember to download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast. That's it, and that's all, y'all. I am out of here. Like last year, family. What else I got going on? I'm trying to think of what else I got going on. Out of here like last year. Hallzie Allen and the Narrator Podcast signing off. Not before, premature sign off. I gotta do it over again. So, first of all, I'm sending you love, light, and healing energy, putting that out in the atmosphere. And then I'm Hallzie Allen, changing the narrative one episode at a time. Yeah, so sending you love, light, healing energy, I'm changing the narrative one episode at a time, and I'm challenging you to change the narrative one social media post at a time. Well, until next time, I'm sending you love, light, healing energy. Hallzie Allen in the Narrative Podcast, signing off. And it's like that.
Got a little bit of gasoline. I'ma make it burn. I'ma make it burn.
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Hallzie Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.